So welcome back. We're doing Frost Moon Pumpkin Moon Farm today. If you're keeping up with the series on like collecting 100 challenge, you know that, well, we need to have an efficient way to do the Frost Moon and Pumpkin Moon, um, which we don't at the minute. This is the setup at the minute, and it is, well, not great. Um, we had these events done before 1.4.5, but now we need to stack these to 100, these types of items. We also got to do the armor, the spooky armor, which needs 75,000 spooky wood, um, which isn't great. Um, we're gonna need a lot more than that. But yeah, I'll show you what we got at the minute, and then kind of ideas for a better design. Yeah, so this is basically how it works. We sit in our invulnerability machine, and we use the Zenith to kind of kill everything. Um, I really think this is kind of lazy. I don't love it. Um, and well, yeah, it's boring and it's actually kind of slow. So maybe we speed through the night. Um, and see kind of what score we're getting, because scores are interesting too, I think. See if we can get a good high score. See how slow it is killing these what are they called, ice queens. uh, yeah, we could do a lot better. But yeah, as you can see, final score 29,490, which is kind of a long way off of what we really need. um, because to beat the world record, we need something above 70, 80,000 points, which is not good. And this is also not getting us a huge amount of things. Um, this will take a while. There are loads of like really overpowered farms that have been made, but most of these designs are like over 10 years old now. Um, a lot of these farms are designed for kind of classic mode. They utilize a lot of traps. This is before expert or even master mode came out. So we're kind of, you know, those are kind of be thrown out the window, because what we want is a master mode design. Um, we also had older designs that utilized the Horseman's Blade and all the pumpkins. They're very cool designs, but Relogic, in its infinite wisdom, decided to rework the Horseman's Blade to be less like that. You can't spawn pumpkins from statue spawned enemies. It's yeah, it's boring. Uh, and then you still have kind of Mappy's design, which is over 10 years old now, which still works if you're in expert mode, but it's tricky to set up, and AFKing that farm is not easy to do. You need to be using the farm actively to re-put out your last prism and that sort of thing. And we want completely AFK design. That kind of got me thinking about, what can we do differently? We have all this new tech with the jousting lines and the Mappy railgun. Maybe we could use that for a Frost Moon or a Pumpkin Moon AFK farm. And that's what I did. That's the video you're now watching. Um, but yeah, it works super well for this. But the problem is Lance has got such a small hitbox, it can't deal with an entire event automatically. Not in this setup, at least. It'd take ages for the things to get to the player, and there's lots of things to work through. So let's look at the first draft. This is kind of the first draft. As you can see, I've literally taken this from, just copied and pasted this setup from the Plantera farm that helps us get into things. But yeah, let's have a look at it. Yeah, basically you get in here like this. Ooh. And you wait for 40 seconds, just like the Plantera farm, getting up to very high speeds. This is on a creative mode test world. So yeah, this is the basic kind of farm setup, or for our first kind of prototype. It's kind of interesting. Basically, yeah, you're at the speed over here. Enemies spawn on the area below, and are teleported up here to be quickly done away with. And then bosses can kind of climb this little row of blocks, and then be taken out by the jousting lance. But yeah, this is kind of how it works. Sit here. It goes through the first few waves quite quickly. We have the dragon doing crazy stuff here. But it's where we get the bosses where it's becomes kind of interesting. So we're about to kind of hit the final wave here, and as you can kind of see, the farm really kind of shreds bosses, and I think that's kind of cool. It's very satisfying. I think it's the most satisfying farm in the video. Just how the pumpkins fly up right into the player, and these guys climb up. And it works super well for the pumpkin moon. It's when we start doing the frost moon that things start to get problematic. We're hitting most of these pumpkin moons as well for all the damage, but sometimes one of them gets through and flies around for a bit. We're also doing this on God mode. I don't know about the survivability of this type of farm as of yet. But I guess the idea is that you're killing bosses so frequently that you're getting a huge amount of health from it that will counteract the pain you're feeling. The frost moon, as you can see, it's kind of shredded through the first few waves. It can even deal with these kind of ever screams super effectively. Deal with a lot of stuff quite effectively, but it's when you start getting onto these ice queens that you start having an issue. As you could probably see, that ice queen kind of came out of nowhere, and started flying around. We got quite lucky with killing it, but as you can see there, they don't tend to hang around too close to the player like the pumpkins. The pumpkins go straight up into the player. These guys have horrible AI that doesn't like getting close. So they can hang around here, filling up the mob cap for a long time until you're finally able to reach out and kill them. And I know Mappy was having problems with this kind of erratic behavior of the Ice Queen, and I think they designed this event basically to not allow you to AFK it, which is just awful. And we're going to change that, hopefully. But yeah, we basically went through several different prototypes until we landed on this one. The kind of spawning in area is basically the same. there are a few things added to it, but the main area. Oh, and sorry about all the painters being killed for another thing. Um, this is kind of the main sort of setup for it, and I thought I'd talk you through it before we get into it because it's kind of difficult to see what's going on when you're in the farm. Basically, it's a bunch of these um, frozen slime setups stacked on top of each other. So this one, well, this one goes to this one goes to this one, and then it goes to this one, and then we loop all the way across this um, over and over again. And while you're on this side, enemies and bosses spawn on this side, and vice versa. And then we also have this upwards track, which helps us deal with the ice queens when they kind of eventually escape from the trap. We've also got this, which is just to basically bring the items to an NPC to sell, which I think is kind of fun. But let's look at it. So yeah, there's a few things we need to do before we start the farm. We need to equip a set of items that help us survive the frost moon because you're hitting a bunch of enemies and it's actually quite painful. What you also need to do is turn off your mob switch and then finally turn this on, which is a projectile cheese. It just means you're not being hit by the really damaging frost waves because they're just instantly despawned, or they can't fire them, which is very helpful for this kind of farm. Then you just hop in this with your inner tube, and yeah, wait for 40 seconds, and then you're nearly ready. But yeah, once you're in your waiting area, this thing can get kind of laggy. You can see my frames dropping. You can just head over to the main area of the farm. Because enemy spawning is on, I hope. Yes, it is on. You'll immediately start taking damage if you're not fighting back. And you need to wear the proper equipment. Obviously, you can use different equipment that has an inner tube, and then change out of it afterwards. It's because you're just hitting enemies basically right where they spawn. But yeah. Let's get ready to rock this thing. Um, I have an auto clicker running that constantly keeps my jousting lance out, attacking enemies. We actually get through the first few waves kind of slowly, especially compared to other kinds of farms, because this farm didn't really have the first few waves in mind when it was being designed. It was more of a kind of like final wave sort of thing because it's effective at killing bosses. The other types of enemies just kind of start to walk away and are just a bit of a pain. But we're actually doing quite well in this one. But yeah, let's wait till wave 20. So we're about reaching wave 20. Um, what is it? What was that, like 9:14? And as you can see, kind of if you look at the mini map, you can kind of see what is going on better than if you actually watch the the game itself. Um, yeah, basically you can shred these bosses super quickly. You have to place your mouse in a specific location. But yeah, almost immediately, as especially the Sand Tank and the Everscream spawn, they're just fading out of existence. Um, the same with a lot of the ice queens. It just sometimes they escape, and you can see when they escape, they're not there for too long, um, which is exactly what we wanted. But let's kind of see where this goes. Oh god damn! Look at that. I think that was pretty cool. Um, yeah, over 200,000, 205,000 score, um, which I think pretty comfortably beats the world record. Oh, that's rare. You don't usually get any of those um, from this farm at least. Um, but yeah, look at all this loot, and you can kind of see why I had to build a hoik track. There's so much of it that you're not going to be able to really do anything with it. Um, yeah, I think it's kind of fun. But yeah, the way you I'm gonna turn off the arrows, um, because those are the things that kind of really do lag the game a bit. Um, yeah, the way you get this going is you just kind of have to wrangle all of the stuff into the hoik, um, and all the stuff up here. It's kind of painful, if I'm being honest. But it's kind of cool. Once you kind of wrangled most of the stuff on here, you just got to remember to click the correct one. You can send it all away, and it drops down into here, and then up here. Um, yeah. How do we get over there? We go here, and it will eventually come to us. And I had no money before this. Let's see how much we actually earned from this outing. But yeah, this is kind of the final sell. I'm not gonna sell these, um, but it's just a huge amount of stuff. And thank God for like stacked items, because if there weren't stacked items, loads of the stuff would despawn. I've done a little bit of testing, and I don't think there's really any chance of anything despawning, um, which is kind of cool. But you're just gonna have to rapid your way through this. We're over 100 platinum for a single night, and we're not even done yet. 120, and I think you can get a more happy NPC. 132 platinum for that entire night, and those as well, 135. God damn. We've collected all the kind of items we would ever need from this, so we're just using this as a bit of a money farm at the moment. I thought I'd also show you how it does with the pumpkin moon. It is pretty effective. Um, I mean, it's again not great with the first few waves, but um, as you start to get up there, it takes out the bosses pretty quickly. And did they change Pumpkin Moon? I swear Wave 4 was when they started having the morning woods, but no, they must have done. So we're nearly at wave 20. I think it's going pretty well. You can see the boss is getting taken out pretty quickly. There's like definitely an optimal place you can place your mouse. I think it's around there to kill the enemies, the bosses pretty consistently. So what was that like? I don't know. That was like 9:30, 9:25 for the final wave, which is not as quick as other farms around. Other farms get that in like 30 seconds. But once we're at wave 20, it is, well, I don't know. The Pumpkin Moon doesn't break any records. Uh, the record for Pumpkin Moon is something like 300,000. This gets a similar record of similar number of points, which is like 200,000, maybe a bit more than 200,000, 225,000. But let's have a look. But yeah, coming into the final bit here, my computer's struggling clearly. What was our final score? 240,000. Oh wow, it changes up. Let's get out of this. Oi oi oi! Look at all this stuff. I think that's pretty cool. I mean, what do we get from that? So much stuff. Let's turn off the projectile cheese so we can exist more harmoniously with the world. But I think, wow, look at that. So much cool stuff. Like a stack and a bit of spooky wood. Doesn't get to the high score, which is like 300,000, but I think it's all right. Especially because this now works with master mode. And yeah, look at that. 66 black fairy dust. Just so many items. And yeah, very fucking cool. But yeah, we're in for a treat today. Two farms in one video. That's crazy. And the other one we're going to be talking about. This is thematically linked, so that's why I kind of grouped it together into one video. Prismatic Lacewings, or Empress of Light to be specific. The chest isn't looking so great. We need 2,000 of these for the rainbow curses, for the 100 rainbow curses we need. So that's like a lot. And the setup we have at the minute is super slow and not brilliant. And so we're going to try and change that. So this is the setup we have at the minute. It's kind of a standard Empress of Light grinder. Basically, you summon a bunch of Terra Prismas in. You sit here. These kill the thing quite quickly. And we take off the inner tube. You're sitting in honey, so you're getting the health regen and that sort of thing. We're also in our Don't Dig Up world, which means the Empress of Light never gets enraged. They're only enraged when they're on the surface instead of it being a time thing, which is fantastic. It means you can kind of take hits from the thing. And how we spawn it in is, well, every 4 minutes this timer goes off, and it's, yeah, basically once 4 minutes up, this happens, and the whole time you are putting your lace wings into this location here, and there's usually no way of killing lace wings without player interaction, but for some reason, I think probably because of the sand gun, sand is an exception, which is very helpful for us because it gives us a nice AFK way of doing this. But this is obviously limited to how fast you can kill the bastard. And yeah, we want to be using this. but we can't do two things at once. Not without like a annoying fiddly auto clicker. So we want to change that, and that's what we did. Let's go see it. So we're on a copy of the farm we made in our main world, just in a journey mode world, so we can have God mode, so we can see what's going on better. Just because we need a projectile cheese, obviously, to make the farm survivable. That's just dart traps firing. We're going to turn that off for now, so we can use the drone to see what's going on actually in the farm. But yeah, it's basically the same start as usual. Jump in this and wait 40 seconds. Yeah, once 40 seconds is up, we're launched into here. And yeah, we can go along into here like this, which is very cool. This is, yeah, basically what the farm looks like. Let's turn it on and see what's happening in the spawn chamber. Well, not a lot at the minute. We have all of these kind of enemies um, doing crazy things. This shark kind of looks like a meme, but it has a purpose. As you'll start to see, all the enemies start to get teleported away, except for the lacewings and some wraiths. And yeah, the lacewings get caught in this hoik and into this sand block. Because the lacewings have butterfly AI, they're scared of enemies and try and fly away from them, right into the hoik trap. And then every 10 seconds, the player is teleported up here, so that the player is close to the lacewing. Because lacewings also have this annoying feature, which is probably quite a good feature for everyone else, but annoying for me, where it needs the player nearby before it's vulnerable to damage. It's also vulnerable to damage immediately as it spawns, so that's why we have the shark being teleported from slightly above the floor rather than, at the floor, because it sometimes kills your lacewings. But let's kill this. The platforms aren't really that optimized in their placement, I've realized. I didn't really think about it, but it kills the things pretty quickly. And we'll be able to see another one spawn in at some point. There it is. Sometimes it takes a little while to get in. It's working with butterflies and hoiking them is always kind of difficult, but it does eventually get there like that. And it's using the same sort of trick as the farm we saw before with the falling sand. And yeah, I'll show some of the wiring after we kill this dude. The rates for this farm are kind of like pretty good. The rates are higher on this world because we're on a Skyblock world instead of the world we built it on, which is a normal remix world. Let's get out of this farm. Down off the spawn rates. But yeah, it's pretty simple. These are just binary clocks to keep us up here for longer. So you do that many, 2 to the 5 times in there, because it's not instant that they become invulnerable to damage. It takes a few ticks, and it's this green wire makes the sand fall a little bit. If you're going to design a farm like this, you need to make sure that these sand piles are only one high, because if you're using a projectile cheese, which you should, to make it survivable, the sand can turn into an item, which is not what you want. But let's kind of have a look at what this looks like on a real world without God mode. But yeah, this is the farm on the main world. I just copied and pasted it over to the creative world um, to tweak it a little bit to make it more efficient. Um, and yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Let's go right into the machine. Let's see what it's doing. And because we have the projectile cheese, you can see we can't throw out the drone, which is fun. You get to see the shaky screen, and we don't see what the lace wing is doing. But yeah, it should hopefully on the next one have gotten into the sand trap um, and be doing cool things. There we go. Um, and you'll be able to see there is no projectiles to the sky, which is fantastic. And yeah, we have to. How many hours do we have to do this for? 25 hours in this farm is needed for the whole 2000 Empress of Light kills, which is all right. It's all right. It's better than what we had before, which was um what I don't know, lot worse. Um, it was like 25 kills an hour, 80 hours, which this is much better. I prefer this. It's still kind of slow. But anyway, if you like the video, um, you know, like it, that would be fun, I guess. And comment to see what you want next. I will try and make a update video to the prismatic lacewing farm. I know people enjoyed that one and find it useful. But if there's any other kind of farms you want to see, just just shout and I'll try and make it happen. I don't know if I come up with anything interesting or cool. um, but yeah, and also just say what you didn't like as well. I'm open to criticism. Um, yeah, fantastic. Have a good one.